Rob Randall, Ollie Ridout, Daniel Gerrard, 61 Tony Kill and Andy Powell, Jason Baker and Terence Dudley on row 22, Alan Flewitt and Alex Dudley on row 23, Richard Scott and Gary Potkins row 24, Ian Challoner, Nick Flint on row 25, and John Busby and John Faulkner on the final row of the grid. The pace car pulls into pit lane, lights out, and it will be Liam Morley that dictates the race pace as they come out of the final corner. Slow first gear rolling start. The lights will be on, and we will be going for 12 minutes of racing. It's Morley and Tritton on the front row of the grid. And lights are out and away we go, and a much better start from Tritton that time, and in fact gets past Morley, but Morley still holding that inside line. Oh, a bit of a lock-up was that. Morley locked it up, and who's that sneaked up the front? Was that the 85? I think that might have been Ross Allen that actually got up ahead of the pack as they streamed down through Craner curves for the first time. There was that the red cart of Ross Allen. Can't quite pick them up on the screens from around the circuit as they head through Starkeys and up towards McLean's for the first time. And just trying to pick up a colour scheme, it looks like it's a lighter colour, so there is that the 85 of Ross Allen. He came into the pits in the earlier race and changed the gear airbox, but yes, it looks like it is a red cart that's leading the way as they stream past the old exhibition centre for the first time into the Fogarty S's. And it's Harpham from, that's Matt Robinson, sorry, the red colour cart. So it's Matt Robinson that's just under pressure from Morley. Morley tries to move up the inside, but not quite makes it through. So it's Harpham, Robinson and Morley as they come up to Goddard's for the end of the first lap. Ross Allen gets up into fourth place, and I think Andy Galliford was looking for a move up the inside as well. So here comes Harpham to complete the opening lap. Matt Robinson, then it's Liam Morley, then it's Allen, Galliford, Tritton and Nick Chembry, the 45 cart. Then it's Carl Hume and Costa Karitsis as the rest of the field stream across. I can see the 101 of Lee Plain, but it's the GP1 of Catamol that leads the 250 monos from Plain, and then Platt and Jack Bliss and Samantha Hempshall. And then in the 125s, it's Ollie Holmes, the S3, ahead of Ella Stevens and Joe Rippin. And the rest of the field streaming across. Gary Potkins completes the opening lap. So leaders up through Coppice, and it looks like it's Matt Robinson still there in second place, but being hounded by the 24, the earlier winner of Liam Morley. It's still Harpham that leads away, and in fact Harpham pulling away. Morley gets up into second spot, but the gap between Harpham and Morley already up to 6 or 7 kart lengths as they dive into the Melbourne Loop for the second time. Scampering away, and at the end of the first lap it was just under half a second, and Harpham completes 2 laps. Then it's Morley, Robinson, then it's Ross Allen, and Ross Allen's the guy that's on the charge at the moment, and I think that's the fastest lap that time for Harpham, a 1:27.797, but they're all setting obviously personal bests this time around. Tritton moves up to 5th place, Nick Chembry up to 6th as Galliford drops 2 places to 7th. And then we've got Costa Karitsis, Carl Hume, Mark Edwards, Ross Withrow, Tom Riley, Andy Waite and Chris Wiesmail complete the top 14. And Lee Plain is now up ahead of Kurt Catamol in the monos from Samantha Hempshall. And where has Paul Platt gone? Paul Platt now has had a spin or done something, because he's lost a lot of ground on that lap and dropped right back to 13th in class. Leads down to the Melbourne Loop for the 3rd time, and it's all starting to close up a little bit at the front. I think Morley is edging a bit closer to the reigning champion, the one kart of Lee Harpham, and Ross Allen looking to close up onto the back of the 84 kart of Matt Robinson. Allen there in fourth, then it's Tritton in fifth, then a bit of a gap before we got Galliford and Shembry, then it's Costa Karitsis and Carl Hume, Mark Edwards and Ross Witherow. Tom Riley crosses the line now, and Andy Waite holding off Chris Riesmount. And then in the monos, it's the 101 of Lee Plain, and he's got a sizable gap over the 35 of Samantha Hempshire. We seem to have lost the GP1 of Kurt Catamol as the rest of the 250 monos stream through. Ella Stevens leading the 125s by about 7 lengths from the S3 kart of Ollie Holmes. Here comes Paul Platt, and let's just check the lap time for Paul Platt this time around, and a 1:41. So something dramatically wrong with the zero kart, made up a couple of places, but the lap times of Paul Platt compared with his opposition is about 7 or 8 seconds a lap slower than what it should be. Morley closing up onto the back of Harpham, and Ross Allen already up into P3 ahead of Matt Robinson. That's a nice little scrap unfolding for third place between Allen, Robinson and Jack Tritton. 6 minutes left on the clock. There's Harpham slowly being caught by Liam Morley. Is there going to be a move? There's a back marker in front of them as they go into Redgate, but they safely negotiate the 17 of Gary Popkins. Fastest lap that time around for, well, personal best for Harpham at 27.7, but fastest lap for Morley at 27.169 as he cuts the gap to just over 0.3 of a second. Lee Plain still leading the monos from Hempshire, and the gap between those two is 2.7 seconds. Both those drivers setting personal best, but Hempshire was about 0.3 quicker that time around. Ella Stevens locked onto the back of John Busby, and let's see, I think Ollie Holmes has locked onto the back of Ronan McClintock to get a tow, so just one driver between those numbers. Daniel Gerard goes through, and the rest of the 125 stream across the line. I can see Ollie Ridout down there in P7 in the one leaders up to Goddard's, and Morley a lot closer this time around. Is he going to get a move done? Yes, he does, into Goddard. So a new leader, Liam Morley, the 24, takes the lead at Goddard's from Harpham, but Harpham's going to fight back. They've got a back marker in front of them as they head down to Redgate, and Harpham up the inside. So Lee Harpham not going to give this up without a fight, and it's side by side as they disappear down through Craner Curves. It's still side by side through the Craner Curves, and someone's got to give down at the old hairpin, but some great racing from these two guys at the sharp end as they out of my sight and up through McLean's this time, and just trying to see whether it's Harpham or Morley that's got the lead. It's Morley that's and pulled away a bit of a gap. And Rob Austin, Armenier, gets a slight misgear on the exit of Goddard's, but gets going again. So Morley managed to open up a gap of about 5 kart lengths that time around. They're coming up against more traffic as they're going to come up towards Goddard's for this time. And Morley gets up the inside, and he might just have created a bit more of a gap over Harpham as they negotiate more traffic along the start and finish straight, weaving from one side to another. Ross Allen there in third place from Jack Tritton and Matt Robinson. Nick Chembry alongside, having a good tussle with the 6 of Andy Galliford side by side. Into Redgate is Galliford. Yes, goes round the outside to move up into 6th place. Morley not quite as quick as the previous lap of 27.3 that time around, and the gap now up to about 1.3 seconds. As Lee Plain still leading the monos from Samantha Hempshall, and the gap there is 3.2 seconds. Another personal best for the 101 kart of Lee Plain. Sam Hempshall second, and then third in class is the 92 kart of Ben Arden, having another good run. Ella Stevens has got a bit more of a gap as Ollie Holmes shakes his head as he comes across the line, still holding second place in the 125s from Joe Rippin. So we've got 1 minute 45 on the clock as Morley completes 7 laps. So I think we're going to get another 2 laps out of this race. The gap now up to just under 2 seconds. With traffic playing a big part now. Ross Allen still there in third place with Matt Robinson and Jack Tritton. And then a great scrap going on for 6th place between Gulliford Karitzis and Mitch Embry. Mark Edwards there in 9th spot from the 5 kart of Carl Hume. And Waits being chased by the 29 of Chris Wiesmel. And then we wait for Lee Plain to appear leading the monos. And on cue, Lee Plain completes 7 laps. Samantha Hempshall still there in 2nd place. And Ben Arden still there in 3rd. So Morley scythes past a few more back markers on the way down to the Melbourne Loop, and the clock down to 30 seconds, so I think we're going to get last lap going out this time. So Morley crosses the line with 14 seconds on the clock, start his last lap, still chased by the 1 kart of Lee Harpham. And the lap time's into the 28, so getting a little bit held up by the traffic. Ross Allen still there in 3rd from Matt Robinson. And looking at Paul Platt's car, I just thought I saw a little bit of rear wing damage to that, so that could be why Platt possibly had a bit of an off in that early stages. It's a bit busy there in the midfield as Carl Hume and Ross Withrow try and make their way through some of the slower runners. Lee Plain and Samantha Hempshall start their final lap. So Morley through the Fogarty S's for the final time. A bit more traffic to contend with down at the Melbourne Loop. And is he going to get safely through? The 24 kart pulls out alongside. Yep, puts a lap on. I think that's Jason. But no, that's Paul Von Gerard slowing a little bit. So and Joe Rippin now up into 2nd place, gets a pass on Ollie Holmes, but the flag goes out to Liam Morley. Lee Harpham gets 2nd place. Ross Allen gets 3rd place from Matt Robinson. And the next scrap through, and Tritton that gets 5th from Gulliford Karitzis and Mitch Embry, then Mark Edwards.